Hey, what's up, fam? It's Dustin, Berserker Bear. Today we are at a fishing spot I like to go to called Burt Dam. This is a little bit outside of Buffalo on Lake Ontario. Okay. Buffalo is we down here, Grand Island. Took her out, my buddy, up over the Niagara Escarpment, and the Niagara Escarpment is what formed Niagara Falls. Took a ride up over yonder, past some reservoirs. I'll be doing that in a future episode. Past some other lakes that we like to go fishing at, although a good fisherman doesn't like to tell his spot. But anyway, ended up here at Burt Dam, and what's here is extremely interesting, and I think you'll like what's going on here in this little area of the world. If you can see what we got going on here. What's that? That is a dam, and that is some eutrophication right there. Look that word up. But yeah, we're going to go through that. I got some pictures, fishing pictures, some ducks, and some interesting stuff going on. So we'll go over a little bit of a history. I'll show some pictures. This is the kind of fish they pull out of there. I'll read this article that I found. Not too much history on this one, but I'll read that. This is in the town of... Oh boy, I should have this. Burt is in the town of Newfane, as you can see right here. The only thing I could really find on Newfane and Burt Dam really was this article. I will read it. We'll go over that. Town history here. Of course, got some top hats. But we're going to do that. Burt Dam, I got some fishing tips, pictures. Also have a channel reference that I'd like to tail off with at the end. Again, we're going to read this little article. I'll do a slideshow. I got video here. See that? I mean, we got close-up of that bridge. We'll find that bridge on the map. And no old maps of this one. But we'll go through that real quick. This is official boots on the ground fishing. Bushwhacking Buffalo with Berserker Bear. Let's get into it. Here we go. Okay, what's up, everybody? So again, here we are. Let's get north-south. Now, what's interesting about this area is it's right off Lake Ontario. I've been fishing up in Little Sodus Bay near Oswego before. I'm not too familiar with fishing in and around Lake Ontario, but I have been to, you got Rochester over here, and there's a town called, oh, here we go, Fairhaven, just before Oswego. And Little Sodus Bay is right there. I pulled a nice bowfin fish out of this bay right here. Beautiful fish. I don't have a picture handy, but this is a beautiful area. And not only does it have that dam gravy, I also had a chance encounter with a couple gentlemen. You know, as you do fishing, fishermen are probably the most friendly folk on the face of this earth. But this whole area, Newfane, and if you go down a little bit, you run into Lockport. And the Lockport cave system is something that I've heard about as a kid because they have haunted caves attraction. in Halloween at the Lockport Caves. I've never been there, but I've heard of it. You know, it's similar to your like haunted hayride. There's a lot of caves in Lockport, as you can see. Look at, there's some huge lock canal action going on here. I just so happened to run in a couple of cats that a shout out to I believe Nick and Cole, a couple of fishermen here that know the back ways, ins and outs of the Lockport cave system. So we're gonna have a video on that in the near future. So you got that going on. Now again, I'll show you where I was. Well, we come down here. Let's get back to north to Burt Dam. Check this out. I mean, look at that. We're going to get you some close-up. This is like a little preview. Mostly trout, but we were fishing for a smallmouth bass. A lot of people come here for the trout. Beautiful, beautiful fish. Beautiful place. Felt like I was in Middle Earth. I often do feel like I'm in Middle Earth. People think that the Northeast is all... So we park right here, and you'll see us walk down this little rampway right here, if you will. I was going to say, you know, with the northeastern Rust Belt, a lot of people think the Northeast is all heavy industrialized, and I'm here to tell you that it's not. I mean, I like to get certain pictures where you can't see any kind of industry, like how it would be back in the day. But there's a lot of those places here in and around, not just Buffalo. Well, Buffalo obviously is industrialized, but Western New York is beautiful. You have Letchworth, you have Watkins Glen. That's a little bit more, I guess, central New York, but the whole state. People always think of, I'm from Buffalo, but my job is, I call people for a living. And when I say that I'm from Buffalo, New York, they ask me how far are you from New York City? And I have to professionally advise them about 5 hours. It's on the entire different side of the state, but it's always cool. People don't realize geographically that Buffalo is way further away from New York City than people think. So, all right, let's get into it. We're going to go through that. We're also, the creek that I was fishing at is called 18 Mile Creek. Interesting, just a real cursory search for 18 Mile Creek, trying to get some articles to read for you guys. And there's 2 delineations for it per county. That's just interesting. Olcott is the township right on the edge of Lake Ontario, where the dam is located itself. So, oh yeah, having issues. We'll get to that one. All right, so let's get into it. I'm going to read this article, and we're going to start the slideshow. Here we go. Burt Dam, fishing among ducks in the old world. Let's do it. So right here, where I'm starting at, it's my boy, or my homie, if you will, my buddy, my friend. I don't want to be misconstrued. I want to make sure I have my discernment with words too. Give you guys definitions, not for just the old world stuff, but my own lexicon, vocab, if you will. So here I am. We're walking right down this thing, and get down to the water and toss her in. So let's start this. Let me pull this is. I'll leave this link for the where I'm reading in the description. Let me pull this out. Boom. I also have some pictures we'll go over. course, I just lost my spot. Let's get you going here. All right, here we go. I'll start the slideshow, and I'll stop and narrate, but I want to get you guys that history as well. It was a beautiful day. The sun was amazing. There wasn't a cloud in the sky. Okay, so we're at Newfane. Town expansion. And it talks about the Erie Canal as well. Okay, so where I'm starting at in this article, again, I'll leave in the description. It says life in a small town. I believe that's where I'm starting. Sorry about this, guys. I lost my place. It was talking about the Erie Canal. And Lockport and Alcott. Okay, life in a small town. Here we go. That's where it was. By 1874, railroads had become a major form of nearby transportation for both passengers and supplies, largely because they were in better shape than many of the town, county, and state roads. Local stations soon included Lockport. Hess Road opened in 1876. Coomer and Newfane. Passenger trains passed through the main stations 6 times daily, while freight trains arrived at all of them around 20 times per week. As the town kept going, I don't want to have that sound on. There you go. As the town kept growing, so did the need for post offices. Newfane Station's post office was established in August 1876 with J.H. Mendelville postmaster. Hess Road Station's first post office opened, and F.H. Ferguson was one of the earliest postmasters. Local churches were flourishing, and new factions were popping up all the time. The Presbyterian Church of Wright's Corners was organized May 12, 1872, with 30 members and a permanent building within a year. The Roman Catholic Church at Alcott was built about 1884. The Free Methodist Church was erected about 1886, a society having been organized a few years before. By 1878, there were 18 school districts in Newfane, with 1,095 children between 5 and 21 years old, educated at a cost of $2,484.26. Most of the rural schools had one teacher who taught all 8 grades and were paid $6 a week. Just as it was across the nation during the late 1800s, Newfane was a major center for political events and patriotic celebrations. Before Election Day each year, young trees were cut down and joined to form a pole around 100 feet high. An American flag was flown on top of the Republican banner beneath it. This was because the community was largely Republican. This is New York State. During this time, one of the larger political organizations was the Republican Marching Club. Very often, events would have marching demonstrations and live music, occasionally using the nearby town of Wilson Band. Of course, the best entertainment came from the attendees. Speeches, lectures, and arguments were commonplace, and occasionally there were physical fights between Republicans and Democrats. That's hilarious. I'm not going to read the winter flood excerpt of 1883. I can get into that another time. But it says that there was a winter flood, 1883. We're right on Lake Ontario. Normally, if you're on the shore and you're facing Ontario, Lake Ontario, you're facing, well, from American side, you're facing north, okay? And the prevailing wind comes from, in this area, usually comes from the southwest, okay? So if you're standing on the shoreline of Lake Ontario, usually you're going to have the wind at your back, okay? That's not the case for Lake Erie from my standpoint in Buffalo, because when I'm on the shoreline I'm facing south down towards Cleveland, and that's where the wind is coming from. It comes from the southwest, and it's one of the reasons why Lake Erie gets so choppy so quick. I mean, so do all the lakes, but that's just a little bit of geographical reference for you. When you're on the coast of, or when you're on the shoreline of Lake Ontario, for example, at Alcott, and you're looking towards the water, you're looking north. And the wind will usually be at your back. Okay, so skipping over that. There was a winter storm, clearly, in 1883. There you go. Wow, it always does that. Of course, I lose my spot again. These ducks were all over. Here we go. These ducks were all over the place. You know what? When they start flying around, I'll turn the volume on. We were fishing. They were like dive bombing, going after each other, as ducks do, you know. They're very friendly. Well, the male ducks like to be very friendly with the female ducks. Anybody who's got a farm or a homestead knows what I'm talking about. Shout out the Great Bear Trail. What's up? I'll be there for sure. Anyway, yeah, ducks were all over. They were flying, swooping down. That's why I say I felt like, you know, Tom Sawyer, Huck Finn. I'm glad that I went out there. It was a great time, and they were up on the perch up here, and then swooping down in the water. Amazing. Okay, so clearly, back to the article, there was a flood in 1883. All right, Newfane Basket Manufacturing Company was founded April 15th, 1887. It opened on McKee Street and was profitable early, becoming known as one of the bigger businesses in town. The business soon expanded into include lumber and millwork, and eventually became the Newfane Lumber and Manufacturing Company. Francis Niles and his partner, Mr. Van Ostrand, now decided to expand their business, Charlotte Woolen Mills, and so they purchased their first generator. This was the first electricity in the town, and it helped grow the mill production greatly. After a time, they sold the business for a great profit, and the mill would be exchanged between hands a few times over the years, as it goes. 1891, it was purchased by the brand new Lockport Felt Company. Who's that cat? Here we go. Check it out. You know what? We're going to there we go. Always make sure to set that. Perfect. I didn't catch anything, but you'll see one, my buddy, of course. Okay, so Francis Niles and his partner, yada yada. After a time, they sold the business for a great profit. Changed hands over the years. I see that a lot, even in Buffalo. Changed hands, different branding, different name. By 1891, it was purchased by the brand new Lockport Felt Company. The location was perfect for a large factory due to the property's large space of flat land along the edge of the 18-mile creek. At one time, they employed 45 people who produced felts for use in paper and pulp mills. A lot of pulp mills, Niagara Falls too, back in the day. Sholkoff Dam reminds me of. The quality of the product was so amazing that it was sold all over the world at very high prices. Lockport Felt Company quickly upgraded their mills, dams, and generators, which became so powerful they allowed the community to take advantage, or they allowed the community to take advantage of the electricity. There you go. See, they were doing that all day. For the first time, Charlottesville contained most of the new electric lines since it was where the mill was located. The town of Newfane established the Newfane Electric Company, which was responsible for the maintenance and distribution of the electricity throughout the homes, businesses, and streetlights. The first electric lighted home belonged to Joseph Robinson, then superintendent of the Felt Company. The first business after the mill was the barber shop and pool room, owned by Howard Wilbur. First electric contractors were Glenn Corwin and Joseph Tyler. Now this is interesting. Get you little sounds of the area. Newfane gained popularity around this time for the wonderful local fruits, often exported to other parts of the country and Europe. Local farms were very busy, and so one resident invented a special fruit grader to help sort their large amounts of crops. This invention helped farmers beyond the Western New York, or farmers beyond Western New York as well. The popularity of the fruit orchards around Hess Road Station helped inspire those living in the hamlet to officially change the name to Appleton in 1895. Name change, which is the name registered in the U.S. Post Office that was new in the town. Appleton now had a post office along with John G. Swigert Hardware, General Store, Ed Howard's Bicycle Shop, and Pool Room, Frederick Ferguson's Coal, and Grain Elevator. Later came William G. Hale's Store, W.G. Hall, General Merchandise, and businesses owned by Ira Dixon and Henry Betzler. You can see the sign from the Hall Store and the General Store, Newfane's Historical Society, Country Village. Check that out. Oh, no. Here goes. Let's pause this right quick and pull over. There goes Appleton, circa 1912. Pretty cool. Mud Street, obviously. Old Corbel building. There we go. This walk ends up at a pretty cool climax, if you will. Okay, where were we? Of course I lost my spot. At least you got some good stuff to watch here. Appleton. Okay, Newfane Historical Society's Country Village. By 1894, the last of the mills left in the area, ran by the Van Horn family, were shut down. This was largely due to practicality inherited through relatives of James Van Horn Jr. There was little interest or ability from the family to keep them open, and they were no longer modernized or competitive enough to be purchased by anyone else. That just seems not right, but whatever. An era had ended. Burt Van Horn's family maintained huge farm operations in Newfane for another decade. Town expansion for a new century. By 1900, the electric service had been extended to the hamlet of Newfane Station and the village of Olcott. The demand for electricity had become more than the mill's dam could supply. Within a year, construction would begin on a new large dam in Newfane Station. The project was spearheaded and funded by the newly created Lockport and Newfane Power Water Supply Company, merged from Lockport and Newfane's electric companies. Again, companies merging, going in and out, companies ending, dudes buying it out. It gets obfuscated, if you will. Just the general lineage of companies, and therefore the history of certain areas, if you will. Because then they have like right and branding rights to names of stuff, and things change. And in this article, I think that you've seen, just by extrapolating or discerning or going over a real brief cursory search, like I say, you can begin to see how things get a little confusing. And that's all I'm pointing out. That's it. Project was spearheaded, funded by newly created Lockport Newfane Power. I gotta start the slideshow. There we go. Newly created Lockport and Newfane Power and Water Company Supply, merged from Lockport and Newfane's electric companies. It took years to secure the land rights and money. I'm sure it did, because they need to they need to establish their power, get the will and the influence down, and then there you go, change things. Okay, during this time, the town of Newfane underwent some very large and important changes, as the majority of the town's activity, buildings, and Main Street stood in Charlottesville. The decision came by the community leaders to, again, there you go, boom. I didn't read this article before, I literally have not. Community leaders to once again rename the town's districts. In 1901, Charlottesville was renamed as the township or village of Newfane, and the hamlet that carried the same name would be changed from Newfane Station to Burt. This was in honor of one of the most accomplished citizens to come from the hamlet, the Honorable Burt Van Horn. There you go. Who among his titles included both U.S. Congressman and Assemblyman. Huh. These name changes caused a variety of businesses to change their names to follow suit. One example is the Newfane Trolley Station, which became known by its more remembered name, Burt Station. For more on the electric trolley which passed through Burt Station, see Olcott history. And there's a link. Oh, I gotta check that out. I didn't do my homework on this one, but there you go. I'll check that out. I want to read the rest of this article, but I have another link for Olcott history, and there's probably some gravy in there. Should have read this beforehand. Anyway. Yeah, look at that, guys. It's amazing. A lot of people fish right there. Old building here. I get up on, rub my nose on that soon. Okay, so once the new 60-foot electric dam was completed, it was named the Burt Dam, since it was located in the hamlet of Burt. Now the town had a major means for supplying the entire community with electricity. On the edges of the town, the Middleport Gas and Electric Company also brought in power from Niagara Falls. We're going to have to cross-reference this. See, if nothing else, I'm putting together a body of work, because I have another deep dive I want to do after my Greek fire episode, guys. I'm still trying to get that out. I'm sorry. Again, I get real busy, bogged down with, obviously, family, and I work full-time on top of this. This is just a hobby for me. What I want to say is, too, I'll stop, pause. I forgot to do this in the beginning. I want to thank all my subscribers. I thank you very much. More than I ever expected. It was having a channel that I guess was people like this much. So I forgot to say this in the beginning. I even wrote an outline a little bit and says thanks subs, and addressed that what has come on this channel is more than I ever anticipated. More subs than I ever anticipated. I achieved monetization. I have it turned off now for my own personal reason, but I have the ability to turn it on, but that's neither here nor there. I'm grateful that I'm employed and I could do this as a hobby. That's probably the number one reason why it's off. But thank you very much. I really appreciate all of your love, all of your support. It really helps to motivate me to keep doing this stuff for you. So, again, you're the reason why I do it. And I set up a new email address. It's in my About tab. Please only professionally send inquiries there. It's my Yahoo one. Only research related, please. I get a lot of emails. I operate and run that MeWe site that Campbell from Autodidactic set up so graciously has allowed me to be head moderator there, if you will. So also Mr. Brees and Caleb will help you out there, but it's a very serious but casual and cool research site where you can have regular conversation, research related. And if you have this stuff outside of your city or outside of your door in your city, you can add it there and we can all see it. And it's a release from the normal day-to-day news feed. There's no fear porn, none whatsoever. There's no DM solicitations to other contributors that are there for like hookup type stuff. That is completely and explicitly not welcome whatsoever. I take care of that and handle it right away. So it's professional, it's respectful, it's above board, and it contributes to the research, and you can do it too. So that said, my subscribers, I love you all. Thank you very much. I try to keep on putting out more stuff. I got another video coming out about the War Memorial Stadium. I'll give you a little preview at the end. And yeah, I just wanted to say that. I'm sorry I didn't say it in the beginning, but this is for you. What happened, again, way more than I anticipated. I'm grateful, and I'll shut up now. Thank you very much, guys. Here we go. All right, so once the new 60-foot electric dam was completed, it was named Burt Dam, since it was located in the hamlet of Burt. Now the town had a major means for supplying the entire community with electricity. On the edges of the town, Middleport Gas and Electric Company also brought power from Niagara Falls, one of the largest electrical power sources in the world, to help reach the town of Newfane's far south and eastern portions. Now this is cool right here, this little sloth right here. These kids were saying that they would like slide down that, I think. And they were also saying that they kayak up in here. Good to get inside the water. Well, not in the water, but on the water, because you can obviously hit more fishing area. Here we go. About 1900, the Bell Telephone Company arrived and installed the town's first telephone switchboard. It stood in Newfane on the second floor of Collins Store near Lockport Fell Company, and it had 2 main lines with 10 subscribers per line. All subscribers were a mix of the wealthier families and those who were fortunate enough to live near the store. An operator was only hired for daytime hours, and so in the evening, the 2 lines became 1 line for all 20 phones. This was common in those days, a slight burden for the families who were interrupted by a ring not meant for them. About 1906, the Home Telephone Company chose to install their own switchboard above Whiting's family barn, which was located on the southeast corner of Maple Street. Kind of sounds like, the towers going up these days. Oh, can we put this on your property for a little bit of kickback? Man, there's nothing new under the sun, is there? I'll tell you what. Okay, this greatly expanded the number of telephones in the town, of course. Bell now decided to build their own buildings on Collins Store property, further expanding their company's reach in the community. And then a brand is formed. I'm just joking. I'm like talking to myself as I'm reading this, so bear with me. Unfortunately, Bell's building wasn't open very long before burning in a fire. And in true John Levy fashion, burning in a fire, of course. The old cow knocks over a lantern, and the entire city goes afire. And so goes a reset in this beautiful realm. I sit here and read this and wonder what will happen in the coming days with my dog. Will I knock over a lantern and create the reset? John, I love you, dude. Keep doing what you're doing, brother. Keep your head up. And that light ahead at the end of the tunnel, bro, is it's not an approaching freight train. This is okay. Check this out. This is very weird here. Dude, what's going on here? You guys notice this? So the transition. See that? This was flat, man. You know, you want to heat damage or whatever. I'm not even going to get into that right now. But it just looked weird. Alright, so unfortunate. Okay, the fire. Yeah, John. Yeah, John, keep your head up, brother. We'll be in touch. Get you on a round table. We're trying to set that up with Cam and Woody and UAP, all the fellas. So stay tuned, y'all. Anyway, the fire burns the... Unfortunately, Bell's building wasn't open very long before burning in a fire, and the owners chose to rebuild in another part of town. In 1948, the burned building was finally removed, and the property became the parking lot for the Lockport Fell Company. So that would be a good thing for you guys, anybody to email me at that Yahoo email provided in my About tab on my YouTube page. Is anybody that can find some gravy on that old Bell South, or that Bell building that burned. Because again, this is a cursory search. I'm not doing no deep dive like the Grand Island or my upcoming Greek fire. I'm just reading an article that you guys can all look up just by doing a Google search. It's kind of like the idea of what I do. So that said, this Bell company had a fire that burned down the building. And I wonder if it was an old world style building. That's what I'm getting at. And this is partially a fishing show, so today, if you will. Hold her up, kid. Good. I knew there was one there, dude. That's the baby right there. What's up, bro? Look at that bad boy. Smallmouth. Smallmouth bass right there. All right. There you go. Well done, Dre. Huh? All right. Fire burned down. Okay, the cornet band of Newfane also started around this time. Oh, the cornet band. Okay. The cornet band of Newfane also started around this time, enjoying wide recognition in their day. They performed for decades and won many contests, yada, yada. In 1905, 275 inhabitants of Hamlet of Newfane depended upon the manpower and equipment of the fire brigade at the Lockport Fell Company to act quickly in case of emergency. The shrill stream siren called the firefighters to the mill for their pumping apparatus. The pump was available whenever needed, and they used water piped from 18 Mile Creek. The men gathered the horses, loaded the wagons, and hastened up the hill to stamp out whatever fire they were called to. 1905 also saw the opening of the first brick school on Main Street. There you go. So that was a little history of Newfane and the Burt Dam. I think I went over it because it goes into explain more about like Olcott and Newfane and that cornet band. So now I can close that. So when I was right here, why is that not? Dude, this is real annoying. Excuse me. Yeah, when I was in this spot fishing. They were perching up on. Okay, I'm not sure if you can see my cursor, but they would go up here, perch up there, and then swoop down. Boom. Like I said, it kind of feels like, you're in another time. When you can't hear any other sign, like, signs of the city or like traffic or anything like that, it's the most beautiful thing ever. So I'm definitely going to go back there, and you see my boy catch that fish. He got a little bit of a history of. Okay, now where I am right here, check this out. Is right down here. Like this little, so it's not all grown over yet. Vegetation, we're just coming out of the winter season, so it's not all grown. But, and this is a panoramic, so it's kind of inverted, if you will. But I'm on this little point right here fishing. Okay, you know what? Might as well give these guys a shout out right now. This is my wife's cousin, call my cousin, The Outsiders. Very cool show. I talk about the waterways here in Buffalo and in and around, and all the water that we do have here. These guys go all these places, all these little creeks, and they make videos of fishing. Again, look at all this water. Not only Lake Erie or Lake Ontario up here, but we have Lake Erie to the south. We have a lot of creeks, a lot of small little, tributaries into those creeks and everything. And I highly recommend you give my cousin here, The Outsiders, a shout out and a sub if you like fishing, because they do a really good job of catching the fish. They're not just, that's why it's called fishing, not catching. You got to catch them, and they catch them. They specialize in going into the creeks and stuff like that. So again, give them a shout out, let them know who sent you. Thumbs up, subscribe if you're a fisherman, and I'm pretty sure that you like what they do. Very cool. Catching fish like that, Beautiful place. So yeah, they were swooping down off of there, and let's check out, where's that bridge? This is what I want to do now. Also, again, shout out to Nick and Cole. Dude, we'll definitely be in touch, because what we're going to do with those dudes, hopefully. It's funny how you meet people when you're out. Again, I told you, and I'll swear by it, that fishermen, hunters too, I'm sure. I've never hunted really, though, but definitely a fisherman for life. The nicest people in the world. How you doing? Hey, you catch anything? So this is what we're looking at with Lockport, and there's some serious lock action going on here. And again, I met a couple of cats down here that know a guy, if you will, that we can get in there, and it's all above board. So this is cool too. These guys are up there inspecting that. It's kind of like a Stand By Me-esque type of deal. But I presume that they're workers for the railroad, inspecting the integrity of it. So it was just an awesome day. Again, I didn't catch a fish, but hey, that's what I just said. It's called fishing, not catching, right? I hope to do more of this stuff when I get into it's now the season of fishing. when I get into these places like I normally do. It's kind of where I said the bushwhacking name comes from. When we were driving out to this place, me and my buddy.
How was that?
You pass over creeks, and if it's not on somebody's property, you find a spot. You got your rig set up on your fishing pole. Literally, you just gotta unhook it and throw it in the water, and you'd be surprised. A largemouth that you could pull out of the or catfish you get. This region, well, number one, this area of Buffalo right here. Any fisherman around can call me out on this, but I know what I'm talking about. This area of the Niagara River right here, in and around from like Grand Island to like Lackawanna, is probably top 5 bass fishing in the world. In the world. There's another place in Florida and some place in Japan that are like really, really heavy bass fishing, largemouth, and smallmouth. Smallmouth fight better than largemouth. They're way more feisty. And this area for smallmouth bass is some of the best in the world. That's 100% for sure. What we were catching out here is smallmouth. But you can get catfish. So this is that ledge, or that ramp. Thought that was interesting. Drain. There you go. 18 Mile Creek. Also have some cool where is it? Here we go. So this is I'll leave the link to this. This is a book that I went through back in the day called Picturesque Scenes Across America, where we used to live. And I pulled some pictures out because, okay, this is the construction picture for that Burt Dam, 1924. Okay, we got the A-frame here. Clearly able to move heavy stuff. There's just a lot of stuff going on here. And where's the creek at? Number one. This is just to show how they are moving stuff around back in the day. I'm not making any kind of assertions here or proposing any ideas, just showing you what I see. And then again, I'll make a body of work of it that I can draw off of in the future. But it kind of reminds me of something like this. This is also in that book. This is called the Devil's Water Slide. Check this out. Weber, Kiowa. Look at that thing. That's a real formation. Devil's Water Slide. Look it up. Just makes me think of that thing that we walked down. And then when you see a picture, like what were they doing back in the day? They're taking this thing out? I don't know. Leave comments, guys. Is this the creek right here? And this foundation looks way bigger than would need be for that dam, but you know what? I don't know. See if I can get another picture. And this is interesting too. I want to say this. Now, having a different foundation, that's cool, whatever. I didn't see the construction of the bridge. In the city of Buffalo, you'll hear there's no cornerstone prior to 1812 because of the fire of 1812. So having a different foundation style in Buffalo makes sense. Out here, I'm not sure if it does. You guys seen that These are coverings for, ice flow that comes in here. But what do you guys think? I wanted to address that also. It makes sense to have different foundations if the fire was burned down, or if a fire burned down the whole city, you build on the old foundations. I get that, makes sense in Buffalo, but out here, I'm not sure if it does, if this is a common thing, but we have old, or not, I'm not saying old, we have a different construction style here than here. Brian Forrester says that's indicative of different cultures. Now, I know he's using it as applied in South America, but I'm applying that same thought here, and that's all I'm doing, proposing and saying, what do you guys think? Very, very cool, though. Very cool area, beautiful area. And, yeah, as I was walking down there, I was thinking about going over this book back in the day. Cool stuff. Oh, yeah. Preview for my next video. Look at that. That's the Buffalo Reservoir. Right now, back in the day, it was a reservoir. Right now, it is the War Memorial Stadium. Used to be called the Rock Pile, where Buffalo Bills used to play. Look that up, and it's a preview for my next one. I already got the video, or I already got the pictures taken. I will be there. Or I was already there. I will be dropping that soon. Next couple days. But War Memorial. You know what? Let me give you a little bit of preview here. There you go. That's plaster of Paris. Okay. Looks a little bit like, When I say I mean hokey. You think that those Pan Am buildings were built with plaster of Paris like that? Maybe a little bit more sophisticated, if so, huh? But I was already here. That'll be next boots on the ground for you, crushing it. And next weekend, Greek Fire. Come check out The Outsiders. Great show for fishermen, great fishermen, and good dudes. You'll get some cool catches. They go through all their stuff, and that's awesome. Also, please come over to, you got to set yourself up a profile account on MeWe, and you have to be invited to this research group. Like I said, professional, above board. Posts are all related to the research. A little bit of humor. Here we go. A clip from Ron Swanson saying his story, like we used to like to say in this research field. Okay, and I drop videos from my past. We have people just posting stuff, pictures. Old world, obviously, your boy. Humor, and we can have some genial conversation and move the research forward and network the realm. And you can help out if you got the stuff in your city. So this was Berserker Bear, Bushwhacking Buffalo. Another edition. This was Burt Dam. And I'll get you the next one soon at the War Memorial John B. Wiley Stadium. And Greek Fire to come soon. So I appreciate you sticking around with me. I appreciate you being here. I appreciate your subs, your love, and your support. You guys all take care. Be safe, and I will report back. Berserker Bear out.